Hey everybody, welcome back to Kill by Daylight. It's time! Finally, the 8th anniversary stream. I'm extremely pumped. Extremely tired, because I didn't get sleep last night, but I'm extremely pumped. Quick last minute predictions or hopes. If it's Vecna, he's like one of the 3 D&D characters I know, right? Demogorgon, is Mind Flayer one? I'm not entirely sure if Mind Flayer is an actual D&D thing. It's a Stranger Things thing. And Vecna. All my knowledge of D&D is from Stranger Things. Oops. But if it is Vecna, I hope he's a wizard. I hope he shoots magic, and I hope the survivor, whoever, if there is a survivor, I'm assuming there is, has magic associated with them and fantiful and stuff like that, right? I hope we get a new map. Yeah. We'll find out real soon. Really soon, 30 seconds, yeah. Anything else? Any hopes, desires, dreams? I don't know. They did confirm there is a tease at the end. I'm assuming it's gonna be for... Right, the cat's out of the bag, right? That one leaker is correct. If it is what it is, I'm gonna be super hyped for that. Even if it isn't, like, somebody I want. But if it's the concept, then that's great. Oh, this is their 8 years. Yeah. They always put out the best anniversary trailers. Like, it's the same thing last year. It was so good.
What the? Never mind. Don't mind if I do. Ah, Jesus!
Oh my god, remember how blue the maps were? Oh my god, it's when I actually start playing. Holy crap. Remember when we all thought the twins were Wendigo? That was a fun time.
Don't you walk away from me, sir.
Oh man, that is so beautiful. I really like that.
No! No! Oh my God! You're dead.
It's a good trailer, man. So good. Oh my god, it's Sadako. Oh my god. Look at all those copyrights. Will we get another event like Slipknot or Iron Maiden? Hopefully if we do, it's more like Iron Maiden where killers and survivors get things, because...
We are live. Thank you everybody for joining us. That trailer gets me so hyped.
So hype, oh my goodness.
It's good.
So good. And the jump
Great
scare
trailer.
at the end is necessary.
Yes. So hi everybody around the world and YouTube and Twitch and OpenRec. We're in Japanese, we're in Portuguese, we are in Spanish, and of course English, because that's what we're capable of. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This is DVD's official 8th anniversary celebration.
Yes, and it's
What's the
truly
unofficial one
amazing
like?
to already know that we're on our 3rd live stream of the year, with only more to come. And we just have to say thank you on behalf of the entire Dead by Daylight team for 8 amazing years of support from community worldwide.
Yep.
Right, make a killer
today
game. People
we
are gonna follow it.
Be looking at everything that's coming over the coming year. We're going to be starting pretty soon after our little intro here with something that we already teased a few days ago, and that's Dungeons and Dragons.
Or kicking
coming
off
to
with
Dead
it?
by Daylight.
I don't remember
So
the
it's gonna be a
whole,
full
like,
chapter.
rundown of the show.
We're gonna dive into that, and in
Don't
fact,
remember that.
after the show today, that will be playable on Steam on the PTB.
Yeah, I'm really looking
Which I will be
forward
doing a
to
breakdown
it,
of that
but
probably the same day as this goes
wouldn't
up.
be a Dead by Daylight anniversary live
So,
stream without a couple of surprises.
it's probably
So
after
you're
this
definitely
video.
gonna want to stay for the full broadcast to see everything we've got to reveal today.
No, I'm just dipping after the
but
first 5 minutes.
We've also got a live Q&A, so if you have any questions, please do make sure to drop them in your respective chats so we can answer as many as possible at the end of the stream. But let's go ahead and take a look at what our run of show is for today.
Yep, we've got a great one lined up. We're going to be joined by our buds Steph and Justin to walk you through our year 9, which is a crazy number. Year 9 content.
That's pretty big.
and
That's
design
almost a
roadmap.
decade.
And then after that, senior product manager Derek is going to join
Derek.
us to talk about upcoming gameplay and quality of life improvements coming to the game, including one that you're not going to want to miss.
Oh?
and then we'll have
You're actually
Dave
tuning the
and
survivors'
Juliet here
volumes
to reveal
down?
Everything coming with the latest chapters for Dead by Daylight. Then we're going to have some updates about the other projects we've got in the world of DVD, that being the casting of Frank Stone by Supermassive and an unnamed multiplayer PvE game by Midwinter. Then
A
we'll have Justin,
multiplayer
completely different Justin from
PvE
the one
game.
Eric talked about, coming in to break down this
Like a
year's
horde
in-game
mode type of
shenanigans
thing?
for the anniversary. And last, we'll have our Q&A, which, once again, drop your questions in the chat so we can answer as
That's the only
many
thing
as
that comes to
possible.
mind. We're like, oh, it's a
And who knows, we might have
PvE
some other little
multiplayer
surprises.
game.
And while you're dropping
Is like a
your
horde
questions,
mode
we
from,
thought
like,
we would
Gears or
drop
something like
some
that?
content on you. You like that?
Yeah, I like that.
I just made that up. Twitch drops are back. So if you've watched our streams before, we like to offer Twitch drops to our viewers, and today is no exception. So they're live right now, and you can get them by connecting your behavior account to your Twitch account. So there should be a QR code you can see. There should be links in the Twitch chat to jump over and get that hooked up if you're not already.
Yes, and if you're new to Twitch drops with Dead by Daylight, all you need to know is that by watching any Dead by Daylight stream in the Twitch directory, you'll be accruing watch time, which will allow you to claim 3 of the Twitch drops we have active today until May 28th. The first one, if you've already been with us since the start of our stream, you're already on your way to claiming, which is
I'm
going to
on
be the
YouTube, though,
Totem
so I don't
in-game badge.
get progress
And then
towards this yet.
After this, if you watch any other Dead by Daylight stream,
I'll just let
for 4
Otter Spooky
hours,
run in
you'll
the
get
background while I'm doing other
Crimson
shit.
Hue in-game
I'll accrue
banner.
that watch
And
time.
then lastly, for 8 years, 8 watching time,
Yep.
you'll be able to get
I
the
do like
Greenville, Welcome to
the
Greenville
Crimson Hue
in-game
banner. I do like
Yep.
that.
So enjoy those drops, but we mentioned surprises, and we've got one to kick the show off with. So the first of which is actually a new game.
Oh my god.
Oh, we're starting with that.
We've got a game that we haven't told anybody about yet. It's from the world of Dead by Daylight. We're going to share it with you right now. It features some familiar faces, and most importantly, it is super duper fun, and I think you'll be
That's the important thing.
surprised. So let's take
That's the important part. All right, what we got, boys? Also, please tell me it's not just a mobile game, because good look. I'm sorry, does the D&D partnership go deeper? What the fuck? Don't you yawn.
Well, you've done it now, Dwight.
Oh
You just
my
had
God.
the first board game. Now, you and your friend are trapped in our world, and danger is everywhere. But don't despair.
This is
Use your
delightful
new
looking.
magic abilities against the swarms of monsters that want you dead. Run, jump, and shoot to collect blood points to repair generators, increasing your powers along the way. Unlock the door to escape together. Did you just die? It's not over yet. Use
Oh, what the
spells to
hell?
keep your friend alive until they can revive you.
Oh,
You
okay.
and your friend have what it takes to survive? Ponder this as you ask yourselves, what the fuck?
Okay.
Oh my god, that
That's
song
cute
is so
looking.
earwormy. It's gonna get stuck in my head.
The game itself is like the guitar solo of video games.
Yeah, like I'm already gonna walk away and just okay. But anyway, yes, you saw that correctly. What the Fog is now available, and it's not only that, but it's free for current behavior account holders and new subscribers. But we do have a limit of free keys, so you're gonna want to make sure that you make your behavior account after the stream, of course, or in another tab. Just don't leave. But go ahead and grab that. claim
Give us
it on
those
your
watch
account,
numbers.
And if you're unable to, then you're able to get it on Steam, which is exclusively on Steam for $4.99 USD.
Yep.
That's not too bad.
As you might expect with the drops.
There are way worse
now a
games
free
out there
game. A lot of people watching
that
the
are
stream.
worth
There might be
full
some
prices.
load on our
Kong,
our
I'm looking at
behavior
you.
Login system. So if there is, bear with us. We will get you in the door, and don't worry, you'll get the game. So as
That's
you might
neat,
have been
though.
able to tell from that trailer, What the Fog, which is just the best title.
We do fuck. I have to say it like
co-op
that.
roguelite.
I just-
the
it's-
simple goal of
it's just
surviving
instinctual.
and escaping with each increasingly difficult level. So to do that, you go head to head with swarms of monsters and bosses, and as we mentioned, lots of heavy metal guitar.
Yes. So Eric and I got to play it before
It
launch.
does
and
look
Oh,
honestly, it was
like-
so crazy fun. Like I had
Oh,
that song
God,
stuck in
what
my
was
head
that game?
for weeks. But you need to make sure that you get your hands on
Brutal
it so that
Legend.
you can have fun.
It looks like
survive, and
almost
then
like a
get the
Brutal
bug
Legend
out.
style, like
So
not
that
quite
out of the way,
tower
see, you weren't
defense.
expecting that. A lot of people are like, wait, what?
Surprises.
We're going to dive into the show. So we're going to hand things over to Stefan and Justin to talk about Dead by Daylight's Year 9 roadmap.
All right, what's it look like, and what can we like theorize over? Right? That's the point of the roadmap. Is like, there's survivor only here, killer only. What? This one says with a map. This one doesn't. Ooh, perk updates. That's what the roadmap is for. How many licensed chapters do we get this year? What are we thinking? Because we got a lot last year. Like, sounds like fucking Samoa Joe's coming out. We got Chucky. We got Xenomorph. Like Alan Wake. Like a majority of the chapters last year, in year 7, were licensed. So I'm curious. We're already kicking off with D&D. If the leaks are true, then the next one's a license as well.
Thank you for joining us. It's great to be back with you celebrating Dead by Daylight's 8th year anniversary. I'm Stéphane Beauchamp, head of production.
And I am Justin Brown, product director. Really excited to be here with you today to talk a little bit about Dead by Daylight's Year 9 roadmap.
I'm going to take a second here at the top of the show to give a big shout out to our absolutely phenomenal team that's working on the game day in, day out. They are the reason we are here with you today and celebrate 8 amazing years of Dead by Daylight. Before going any further, I just want to address something that's probably going to get talked about quite a bit in the chats across the different channels. We know since the last update, there's been a rubber banding issue that's been plaguing the game. The team
Actually
has been
addressing
working
it.
extremely
Good on
hard
you.
at it over the last few weeks. We have a tentative fix that the team has been working on that we're hoping to test on the PTB later today. If everything is successful with that, we will be deploying that fix to live, and hopefully it should improve the situation. But it's still to be confirmed. So keep
Since they
keep an
did
eye on our
fix, like,
channels for
put the
that. We'll keep
tentative
you
fix
updated
out there, I
about
haven't
it.
experienced
So,
it that much.
moving
A little bit
into
here and there,
the
but
future
it's
a
been
little bit.
pretty good so
The
far.
coming year for Dead by Daylight is going to be
But good on them
huge.
for
We have
actually,
seeing something
the
coming up
elephant in the
from our
room, we have
biggest
to, like, talk
years
about that.
to date. Since the last anniversary, we have released amazing licensed content such as Alien, Chucky, Alan Wake, and a personal favorite of mine, Nick Cage, such an amazing addition to the game. On top of that, we've also released our most popular original chapter to date, All Things Wicked.
Of course, and we can't forget, we did the Halloween event, which was bigger and better than ever with the introduction of the Void. This year, we introduced the concept of modifiers in Dead by Daylight, starting in February. Lights Out. We followed it with My Little Oni, and soon, later this week, we'll introduce Chaos Shuffle, the third one. We took a few steps towards improving the player experience between anti-face camp, blood web UX improvements,
Anti-face camp could.
slider, survivor DC bots, and even the
Tunneling
search
and face
bot.
camping,
So there's a lot there.
that stuff needs
And
a...
finally, we've taken a few
tuning.
big steps towards increasing our transparency, our communication with regular live streams on each of our content releases thus far.
There's just an armada of motorcycles outside my window.
Let's dive into the future and what's really coming up for this year. We're happy to announce
a solid
today that we
7
have 6 new
motorcycles driving down the
chapters
road.
currently in the works, and
It's a
2 of
beautiful
those
day out.
chapters will be
Jesus, man, I'm
survivor-only
trying to watch the
chapters
stream.
this year. On top of that,
New
we'll have
Survivor
the
in
usual
July.
new tomes that are going to be coming out. spread
August, new
throughout
killer,
the
new
year.
survivor.
As we've talked a little bit in
December's a new killer, new survivor, new map, and then March is a new killer,
is
and then April's a new survivor.
And we're actually going to deep dive that in a soon-to-come segment.
Okay.
Right, shortly after this one.
So we get
that
a
really promises to bring
Okay.
great gameplay and new characters to the world of Dead by Daylight.
Of course, we're going to follow that with a licensed survivor, a character who truly embodies the meaning of that word. After that, an iconic
Okay.
killer survivor duel will be coming into the fog, and if you stick around to the end of the show, you're going to get a little preview as to what that will be. We'll finish off 2024 with an original killer and survivor chapter, and we'll finish off the Year 9 roadmap with a licensed killer-only chapter, followed by an original survivor-only.
It's a lot of stuff coming up.
What happens in what is a
Moving
big
bit
thing
away
in
from
March
our
that they could be
content
setting up?
roadmap, we're going to take a closer look at the 4 pillars.
Because that's where we
which
go now, right?
The year will be based on.
Oh, a solo survivor that is
for a long time. You'll see that there's consistency throughout the years.
embodies
with the 4
the
pillars that
word.
we're focusing on, but we're really adjusting the contents of each so that we're working on the
Rick
features that
Grimes.
have the most value and the most
That's my
interest to all of our players
like big shot.
in ways where we can expand the game.
We get
further.
Walking
Of course,
Dead.
We're going to start off with the trust and security pillar. Firstly, we're thrilled with the response to our regular
That's all roads lead to March,
we're really
right?
happy to let you know
Where we just like
fully expect more
start
to come
sleuthing.
as we progress throughout the year, accompanying all of our major releases. Security is a topic we rarely talk about publicly for good reason. But one thing I will inform you all
Also, of
about
course,
is
it's a
last year we set
solo
out to
killer
start
chap, so it's like,
tackling
all right,
this AFK bots problem that we see,
do we finally get Jason? Do
especially
we
in some
finally
regions
get
of the game.
Springtrap? Is it something
Phase
else that
1
we
had
can't
very
think of
promising
right now?
results, and we're certainly going to be taking that forward another step into phase 2 in the coming year. Our next 2 pillars, live balance and quality of life, we won't discuss too much. Of course, you can expect regular live balance updates throughout
Why?
the year. And
Why
new
can't you
quality of
discuss
life.
it?
But my friend and colleague Derek will be coming up in the gameplay improvement segment to cover more on that topic, including an announcement on one of the most highly requested features ever in Dead by Daylight.
This one's going to be really, really exciting. Stay tuned for that because that is really something interesting coming up.
I'm assuming that's the
Last but not
cross
least,
progression.
Our 4th pillar, events evolution. Events have always been a fundamental part of the game, especially the seasonal events.
Yeah, remember when you guys tried to
And this is
kill
something
it?
We're going to keep pushing forward
That was
over the coming
shitty.
year. With this year, we're starting to do a bit of a split where we're going to have our events happening on a separate matchmaking queue, which essentially means that at any time there's an event ongoing, you can decide to still play normal Dead by Daylight if that's what you're looking for, but you can also go into the event-specific queue and play some of that gameplay. This is really going to allow us to push gameplay further and further away from the typical way Dead by Daylight normally works, and it's going to be a very interesting way for us to approach events in a different way. On top of that, we can also expect more modifiers to make it in the game.
We gotta see how
Whether
that
it's the one
kind of
we've talked
pans
about
out.
just
That's a little
before,
weird, though.
That are going to be revisited throughout the year, or introducing new modifiers that are either tweaks on something or something completely different. But modifiers is just a little sliver of what we're planning to do this year, and I think we have something a little bigger that might be coming up.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm so happy to be here and let you guys know that for the first time ever, this summer, Dead by Daylight will have a new mode, not modifier, but a mode coming to you all. We've been listening.
Don't
and
be
hearing your
2v8.
feedback, and
Don't-
I'm really
nobody-
happy to let you know that this summer, replacing Scorching Barbecue will be the first ever time-limited 2v8 mode in Dead by Daylight.
Fuck.
We'll be doing a full breakdown of what this mode is when we get
I'm sorry.
closer
I
to
don't
the
understand the
release.
people that want
For
2v8.
now,
I just
I'm
don't
going to
understand
thank
y'all.
My friend Stefan for joining me. Invite my friend Matt to the couch to talk a little bit more about this, and here's a snippet of what's to come.
I don't understand the whole, oh, we want 2v8. Gameplay not final. Whoops. Yeah, okay, they show like, oh, Huntress and Billy, okay, they're fun killers going. Bitch, you're gonna get Nurse and Blight, and that's it. That's all you're gonna get. That's literally all you're gonna fucking get. So that's not, they said they're adding a new permanent mode, and this is not it. This is coming with Scorching Barbecue in the summer. Just give us randomizer. That's all I want, personally. You give me randomizer,
Boom! Thank you for
join
joining
the
us, Matt.
join the queue,
Well, I know
and
it's
you
still
start the
early
match with
and
random
everything
add-ons,
is
perks, and
subject to
items, or whatever.
I think it's going to be really fun to sort of let the community in
And
on
and
some of our
then you can
plans
have
for this
whatever
upcoming
stupid
2v8.
shit you want, like
Absolutely.
2v8.
Thanks, Justin. So yeah, 2v8 is coming to DBD. This is a new game mode, which is really cool. Other gameplay events that we've done before, so Lights Out, My Little Oni, soon Chaos Shuffle, these are what we're calling modifiers. And modifiers basically take a DBD match, change a few things, but ultimately you're still playing DBD.
Also,
With
that's
this new game mode, 2v8,
doubling.
we're fundamentally changing
That's
the way
doubling
that you play
the
Dead
match
by
time, by
Daylight.
the way. Not match
In
time,
this
but
particular case, there's 2 killers, 8 survivors, and
that's
a bunch
10
of new
people instead of
changes
5.
that
So
we're
you're
gonna
gonna be
get
waiting
into
in
very
queue for
shortly.
longer if you want to play 2v8.
The focus with 2v8,
And
we
you
really
know,
wanted
because
to
as a part of the Scorching
hone
Barbecue,
in
I'm gonna
on
be
what's
forced to play it for the
exciting and fun and
friggin'
chaotic
event
with
pass.
DBD, and we're leaning more into a party mode kind of vibe rather than something that's super competitive. It's also worth
then you have to
mentioning
ban
that the way that we're
Blight
building this,
and
it's an
Nurse.
iterative process, right? And this is just the first iteration. So we'll be looking to add more content, more gameplay in the future based on community feedback.
Absolutely, and I'm super excited to see what everybody says about this mode when it comes out. So first, let's break down a few of the key
It's
changes
dumb.
that we know are going to be coming for 2v8 this summer. I mean, of course, there's still generators, there's still exit gates, there's just more of them. We've made 5 maps bigger to accommodate all of the action, all of the chaos.
Yeah, you kind of had to.
We're also doing away with perks in this mode, instead introducing a new sort of 2v8 exclusive system called classes for survivors.
Oh no! Oh no,
Yeah, so
honey!
when it comes to survivors, basically
no.
once you've chosen your character, you can select and equip a player class.
We're an RPG
And this
now
class
to fit
is
the D&D
effectively
thing.
your power for the
Interesting.
match, and it helps players identify what your role is within the team. So instead of mixing and matching perks, instead we really wanted to focus on a particular playstyle for this, and whether it's generator repair, healing, looping, speed, that kind of thing, that's what we're really going for with these classes.
Of course, and there's also just cowering in the corner, which is my own preferred playstyle for Survivor, which is great. And it'll work a little differently for killers. You'll be able to choose from one of the 5 original killers, each with their own specific gameplay. Killers obviously have powers, so they don't have classes in this mode, but we will be introducing a new mechanic, which is a team power. For example, if you are the Wraith, when you cloak yourself, if your teammate is within a certain radius of you, they will also get the undetectable status effect, allowing you to coordinate a sort of team stealth attack.
That's wild.
Should make for some entertainment. The reason that we're focusing on the 5 original killers is just to make sure that this is as accessible as possible. They're all free, everybody can play them, everybody can have fun. We want you to enjoy the content and give us your feedback. And in my opinion, the best part of this whole mode is the 2. It's the first time ever that success and failure as a killer does not rely solely on your shoulders. You have a teammate to sort of benefit from.
You have somebody to
learn from, or
blame.
even, blame.
That's what you're telling
when
me.
things go poorly.
Me as a
So
survivor,
working
I
together is
have
just gonna make the match
7
so much
other
more fun, so much
teammates
more
instead of 3
Absolutely.
that I can
Lastly,
blame.
It's worth mentioning that for this mode, we really wanted to keep the action pace and the momentum flowing. During our playtests, we found that the process of downing a survivor, picking them up, carrying them to the hook, it really started to slow things down for this mode in particular. So we're doing away with hooks as well. There's no hooks in 2v8. Instead, once a killer downs a survivor, they'll be able to send them to a cage. This works very similar to Pyramid Head. It will teleport the survivor to another part of the map, away from the killers. And of course, this still counts as hook states. So once you've been hooked 3 times, you'll be out of the match. And as Justin said before, there will be 5 original killers coming to this iteration of this game mode, but we will be looking to add more as we iterate on it and add more to it. Of course, we'll also be improving the game as it goes along, so content will be coming in as well as updates to classes and gameplay.
You say this like it's a
Awesome.
permanent
Thank you
thing,
so
which
much
has
for
me
joining
scared
me,
that it's a
Matt.
permanent thing.
And to all of you at home, if you want to learn more about 2v8, please join us
don't.
in our July live stream. We will hope you're looking forward
I
to this
don't want to
year
learn
9.
more about this
Now,
game
back
mode.
to you, Eric and Dork.
I don't. The fact that it's like, okay, it's the first 5 originals. Like, all right, Nurse is in there, but everybody's 2v8 is gonna be great. It's like, man, when you run up against Plague and Blight and top tier killer and top tier killer combos, you're not gonna have. You're gonna be winning. This game mode should have been gone, bruh. Like, all right, I'll check. Like, I would have rather just Chaos Shuffle, just been a permanent game mode, right? That's what everybody wants. That's also something everybody wants.
That roadmap.
Great segment. Great beard, Stefan. People were loving the wet beard in chat. But the real story, 2v8.
2v8, yes. I cannot wait to dodge hatchets and chainsaws at the same time.
I can't wait for our killers to finally have friends that they can play with.
Get some
It's going to
friends in the
be,
fog.
you're going to be
Forge
hit with a
friendships in the
hatchet,
fog.
and then you're going to hear a nurse blink
But,
right behind you
that
and
was a great
insta down.
segment to watch. I loved
That's the combo
reactions
I'm
in
predicting.
chat. I think the guys
Or
did a really good
bl- or,
job of explaining. This is the
bing
first
bong, bing
iteration,
bong,
and there's going to be a lot of
smack,
changes based on community feedback.
and then
so that's why we're not
nurse
just flipping a
blink
switch and making
behind
it
you.
permanent all of a sudden. You need to actually get the mode where we want it. But
It
we're
should be
using the
interesting
word
if you go
mode,
up
which
against
means
a
lot, so
huntress and a
pay attention.
trapper?
And speaking of paying attention, the
Because
website
you gotta watch out for
was about to
hatchets and traps on the floor, so that should be interesting.
But the website for What the Fog has been overwhelmed by demand.
It's cute looking. It looks
people
fun.
Love that cute little game. So we're working on it. Stay tuned. Don't worry. We have lots and lots of keys for it. So just as soon as we're able to tell you it's back up, we'll give you a mention on the stream here or in the chat.
Yeah. We definitely know you guys want to get your hands on it, but what we can do is tell you about something you can get your hands on today.
Oh?
Yes, and so recently, I think it was December, we released 3 DLC packs. They're called Maddening Darkness, Old Wounds, and
Oh, is this the,
That was a way for players to get a big bunch of our older content all in 1 or 3 goes. And so we're actually going to be doing that again.
Yeah, so this pack is actually going to pick up exactly where the last one left off, which is going to be the Endless Hunt pack. And in this pack, you're going to get 9 playable characters, starting with Portrait of Murder, Roots of Dread, Forge in the Fog, and Tools of Torment. And along with this pack is going to be all the additional outfits and DLC exclusive items. But of course, if you don't want to get the pack, they will be individually marked down in the in-game store, so you can get them there.
Yes,
I know people like shit on that whole thing, but it's a good thing for new
It's the
players.
best way, especially if you're a newer player to Dead
I
by
think it's like
Daylight, to
30
get
bucks.
A big bunch of great content. So
That's a
that
good
out of the
deal.
way, we're
You're
gonna keep
getting
the train
4
rolling.
chapters for a
Next
discounted
up,
price.
We're going to be welcoming Derek, right
As
where
somebody
you're
who
sitting. He's gonna tell
paid
us all
for
about
every single
gameplay
chapter this game
improvements
has.
and quality of life improvements.
Like
coming
those
to Dead by
first like
Daylight,
3 months, I
including
dropped
a
I
very
think
big
$100
one
on
that
this
people have
game,
requested for ages.
and that's without
Let's
buying
talk
the
to
game
Derek.
originally because it wasn't on Game Pass yet. Like it's a good bundle deal, right? You still have to buy all the licensed chapters, obviously, but you're getting all the original ones. That's a good deal, man. That's a good
To
deal.
our stream for the first time, Derek is from our product management team. He works with the dev team on creating all sorts of cool quality of life updates, gameplay updates, and he's here to tell you about some good ones today. Derek, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Gonna be even better after this segment when we hear what you get to say. So I already know what you've got to say, but I think people are gonna be excited to hear about it. The upcoming challenge system. This isn't something we've told people about. Why don't you tell them about it right now? How is it gonna benefit our players?
So we really wanted to deliver new in-game challenges to players and new ways for them to be constantly rewarded outside of just tomes and archives. So we're going to be introducing a new challenge system, which is a system of challenges, hence the name.
No way.
That players are
Big
going
if
to be able
true.
to complete completely passively. That means that players don't need to actively select the challenge that they want to complete.
That's
and
good.
They can complete multiple of them at the same time.
That's fantastic.
Initially, we're going to start with daily challenges, weekly challenges, and event challenges.
Weeklies!
And later on, we want to expand those into other parts of the game as well. We think that this is going to be a great way for players to be constantly rewarded just for logging in and playing DBD. And it's going to be an amazing experience for everybody.
I think that's a really great addition. I think people in the community are going to really appreciate just being rewarded for doing what they already do, not having to go out and seek it, but just it's happening in the background at all times. That's really great. So another great thing that we're adding actually is how we talk to our players. That's the main job of my team, is talking and listening to our players. But we do it out in the world. We do it on social media. We do it on TikTok and Twitter and other places. But in-game is obviously the best place to talk to people, and you've got some updates there.
Yeah, we're here to make the players' lives easier and your life easier as well. So we're going to be introducing a new inbox-based system that will help connect players with the news that you have to announce, including patch notes, announcements, rewards, and a lot more. That way, players will see less pop-ups when they launched into the game, and they'll be able to get into their games quicker. And overall,
Is that really a problem?
Stay connected with the world of DVD and the news that you have to announce.
Yeah, and it gives us new tools, right? Like,
Oh no,
being
I
able to
logged
tell
in.
people
There's a
the patch
pop-up.
notes in
Click.
detail is something we couldn't
It's not
do
that
before,
hard.
and now we can.
Is that
So
really
again, you
is
have
that
to go
really a big
find it on the
issue? I
web,
don't
You'll
know.
be able to get it in the game. Pop-ups, not pop-ups, but notifications for rewards as well is another great improvement. So really good work there by the team. But we're not done. Actually, this is something people are familiar with, the Finisher Mori system. We tested it out a while back in PTB, got a ton of great feedback from the community. The team took that feedback, went back to the shop to tinker with it, and we've got the final version to tell people about now.
I love Finisher Moris. I think they're a really amazing showcase for how deadly and gruesome our killers can be. But we also acknowledge that there was some room for improvement from the survivor
There's a lot.
perspective. So like you said, we've taken the feedback, we've reiterated on it, and tried to land on what was the best player experience.
You don't add it.
So, in a coming update, Finisher Moris are going to become a baseline feature for all killers in the game. That means that killers are going to have access to the Finisher Moris by default, but they're only going to be able to use them on the last remaining survivor. That way, if the killer is able to successfully pull it off, we get an exciting conclusion to the match, and the survivors can feel that the game's ended in a fair way, and this match went smoothly, and it was a really exciting experience for everybody. Mori offerings are also going to be updated to instead give bonus blood points, so that it'll be a more rewarding experience for killers if they're able to pull it off.
So the
Okay.
killer's going to want to land that at the end.
Yes.
It happens at the end, like you
How
said,
does that
not
affect
killing the flow of the
adept
match.
challenges?
I think it's a really great balance from where we started and the feedback.
Well, I
that
guess
we
it doesn't
got,
matter
so
anymore
kudos
because it's
to
a
you.
merciless victory either way.
And that's all we've got from you today. Unfortunately, you have to go, but the show is far from
You should have
over.
just made
Next
the
up,
Ebony
we're gonna
Mori
hear
base
about
kit.
a new chapter.
That's
coming
a way
to Dead by
better
Daylight.
way of doing
Stay
this.
tuned, everybody, and thank you, Derek, for your time.
As long as it works, everybody else in the trial is dead, then it can be procced. Not, oh, I slugged everybody as Oni within 2 minutes, like fucking Spooky Loops showcased, and then the match is just over because you were the last standing one. I hope that's not how it works currently, because that'd be
I'm already
dog
so
shit.
excited for the challenges and the Finisher Mori.
The challenges you got me hyped for. 'Cause I've been saying it for a long time. More challenges, more dailies, add weeklies.
Yes, cross progression.
Depending on what they
is
give, it
finally
might be
coming.
a
Super
bigger home run than I think
and
it
it's
is.
another reason for you to make your behavior account. So not only will you be able to get What the Fog for free, but you'll also be prepping yourself for cross progression, which we know is something you're once again going to have to be waiting to get your hands on. But we can now talk about merch, which you can get your hands on right now. So with the merch store, we've got the always popular mystery boxes coming back for this anniversary. And obviously because of the name, I can't tell you what's in the box. Maybe I'll try,
What's in the box?
Anyway, in the boxes, you're going to see 4 very exclusive DVD items specifically for this release.
I hope they're
there's also an
DVD
included art
exclusives.
print, where some of them are actually signed by our creative director, Dave Richard.
Which is pretty amazing. I had Dave sign my chest backstage. I won't be sharing that to save you all, but he's got
I
a
expect the
great
tattoo
signature.
pics on
One
your
of the
Twitter.
best. It's a really cool.
When it
piece
gets
too.
done
If you
eventually.
haven't gotten a mystery box in the past, it's always just a fun unboxing process. So
Loot
follow the
boxes,
QR code
but
on
real
screen,
life.
Scan it and go get it. But we also have an update to the DBD board game.
Oh yeah, you're
I
right. There's going to
forgot.
be an expansion pack for the Dead by Daylight.
I forgot y'all
board
did a board game.
And this is going to be called the Malicious expansion. This comes with 3 new killers: the Artist, the Dredge, and the Knight, and 4 new survivors: Michaela, Jonah, Hattie, and Vittorio. It's also going to come with 2 new maps, which is going to be the Garden of Joy and the Forsaken Boneyard.
That's super exciting, and I'm so happy to see the success of the board game. I'm such a tabletop nerd that it's just such good quality, and I'm glad that people are resonating with it. So shout out to level99games.com, which is where you want to go to pre-order it. You'll get it later this summer. Obviously, the DBD merch shop as well is available. You can open it up on your phone with that QR code. You can go to another tab and get some shiny stuff.
Yeah,
It's
so
very
it'll be really
shiny.
nice, especially like you said in the summer. Play it outside, touch some grass at the same time. So other than that, if you have any questions about the content we've been dropping so far, because it's been a lot of content, we will have our live Q&A segment at the end of the stream. So make sure you're dropping your questions into the chat. But other than that, roll initiative, because it's time to talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
Here we go.
Poor misguided wanderers. First, there were many.
The Mimic.
So few. How little you must
2 of them.
value your lives to take a single
Elves.
insignificant breath in my
Whoa.
sanctum. I'm afraid.
You mean his loot didn't save him?
Quick death.
Lute? The instrument?
No escape from this suffering. places such as this.
Well, there he is.
One must keep themselves entertained.
Vecna? Astri Yazar? You want me to pronounce that name correctly, don't you?
Hello, friends. I'm
Oh my God, it's a
Kote,
Kote.
Head of Partnerships for Behavior Digital, and I'm extremely happy to be joined here today.
Sorry,
by
does he have a pin that says
Sean
I
from our
heart
friends
Nick
at Wizard
Cage
of the
haters?
Coast, who is going to be with me talking about what we just saw. Hi, Sean.
Hey, Matthew. Great to see you.
Pleasure. We just saw the trailer here. I still have goosebumps. This is so amazing. Like I was saying earlier,
That's wild. That Wizards of the Coast is in
child in
Dead
me
by
that's
Daylight. That
thrilled
just
right
hit
now.
me.
I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since I'm 10 years old, and it's an absolute dream come true. So thank you so much for being a part of that.
Of course, yeah, my pleasure. I 10-year-old Sean wakes up every day realizing that he works at Wizards of the Coast, dream job. So we're super aligned on that.
So Dungeons and Dragons is probably one of the biggest gateways that people have had to how to craft stories, how to design games, how to create experiences for other people. We've seen it, of course, within the dev team. There's so many people who've got their first taste of designing games through Dungeons and Dragons. Have you seen this to be true with other developers that you've worked with?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I always say it's the easiest thing about my job is I never have to teach people what D&D is or what the brand is about, because when I'm working with the developer, I guarantee you the person that I'm talking to has played and everybody on their team has played, or at the very least is like very aware of what the game is and what it entails. It makes my job very, very easy. I always joke around, D&D is kind of this like the building block or like the connective tissue between game designers. You can be at a gaming convention and you're talking to other developers, and if you have nothing else in common, just start talking about D&D.
It's true. It's
I mean,
kind of
it's
a common
fucking
language.
huge.
There's so many common references.
It's
there.
a huge
for me
thing.
personally, like I said, it's a dream come true. I still play Dungeons and Dragons every week with my group of friends. I'm the forever DM in that group, and I know that there are a couple of other people on my team who were absolutely thrilled to be a part of this. What made sense for Wizard of the Coast to enter into this collaboration?
That's a great question.
That is a very good question. Most times it's like, all right, Behavior, why did you pick this?
Really, really interested us.
Like, obviously, it's
Dungeons
Chucky,
and
it's
Dragons
Xenomorph,
dipped
it's
its
Alan
toes
Wake.
In horror before, we've got modules like Curse of Strahd. We've got a lot of different horror elements we've brought together in some of our monsters. Obviously, characters like Vecna have been super horror driven. So when the idea popped up on our radar, hey, what do you think about working together with Behavior on a Dead by Daylight module? Like the light turned on instantly. I don't think anybody was there were no question marks. It was mostly just exclamation points. It's like, how do we do this the best, right? Like, let's find the coolest character. Let's find the coolest setting. Let's really make this a true sort of celebration of D&D inside of Dead by Daylight and make it a way that feels super native to that game.
Yeah. And you mentioned horror. I mean, I know a lot of people will probably think that their first thought when they think of Dungeons and Dragons is not necessarily horror.
Dragons, mostly.
Is quite a lot of
high adventure
for horror in there. I mean, it is a very flexible medium to tell stories, and horror stories are some of the stories that will provoke the most intense emotions and reactions in players. So for us, it made sense. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Barry Blue Jeans, man, lives on in my heart.
I'm in the forever Dungeon Master box that you are.
If you know, you know. And if you know,
I think that it's just a great
you're
tool
awesome.
to use to tell stories. If your players never get scared, right, you're probably doing something a little bit wrong. And like you mentioned, Dungeons & Dragons is just a really flexible system for telling stories. At the end of the day, the players and the Dungeon Masters, you're not fighting each other. You're just there telling a collaborative story about what happens. And horror is just a great tool to include in that box of storytelling. It's D&D hasn't always been, hey, we are a horror game, but the tools are there if you want to do it, and I think some of the best storytellers out there definitely implement those tools.
Yeah,
It's a blank page, from what I understand, right?
Now,
you just craft whatever comes to mind,
I mean, we've seen it in the
and then let
trailer.
your
He is
friends
an
build in that
terrifying
world.
Presence. I think that
Let
whether
them
you're
live
a
in it.
survivor or a killer,
Bring it to
and you
life, that
play
sort of thing.
With Vecna in that game, it's gonna be a really, really intense experience. So tell me a little bit why Vecna and why it makes sense.
Can't do
For
Demogorgon.
me,
Whoops.
The main reason that Vecna was very clearly like on the top of the podium the entire time we were discussing potential killers is that Vecna has always had this horror movie monster vibe to him. I mean, as a lich, he's always had the ability to. You can even kill him and he just pops back up and will come back. It might not be.
But
tomorrow,
what about
might be a
pieces
couple
of
years in the future,
wood
but, like,
falling
Vecna's
on his
always gonna
toes?
come back. He just
And a
has
bit
this
of a
real
flashlight to his face. How does he deal with
inevitability
that?
to him, right? You know, it's. And the thing about D&D is very quickly in a D&D setting, your party becomes a group of powerful adventurers, right? You're defeating all these other monsters that, you know, like dragons and stuff. And then Vecna shows up and you're like, oh, we need to run away. Vecna's here. Like he's such a scary, inevitable threat in the universe that even his earliest appearances were just items with his name on them. And everybody was wondering, oh, who's this guy Vecna that's got this eye and this hand? And it was just like whispers of this ancient evil that was so powerful you couldn't even print a stat block for him because he was just that strong.
Yeah, it's the terrifying presence that few talk about, but if you've heard about him, it's probably already too late. It's true that it's got that absolute flavor, and he has been part of the Dungeons and Dragons universe for almost 50 years now, right? He was there at the very, very beginning, like you said, as whispers, as just a note in there. But he does have a stat block, and reading it is all. It's not ridiculous, but it's so much power in those pages. Like, you understand that he is, like you said, inevitable, but also he is able to scare a party of level 15 adventurers who are technically almost unstoppable by that point, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
It's always like I've lost quite a few player characters myself to Vecna, and you know, Eve of Ruin. We've got the new book coming out, and as soon as you see Vecna, Eve of Ruin, I was like, oh, looks like I'm gonna lose a couple more.
Yeah. But that's part of the fun. That's writing stories with your friends. So before we let Yannick and Dave take us through the details of how we implemented Vecna with the gameplay mechanics of Dead by Daylight.
Oh, we're going to explain that.
Presented them to our players.
Okay, cool. Cool.
I'm wondering if you have a message for the hardcore D&D fans out there who may not be familiar with Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, I do actually. And it's try this chapter out, even if you don't play it, like watch somebody stream it, because this chapter, it's a love letter to Dungeons and Dragons from a very passionate and very talented team of developers at Behavior. It was super obvious throughout the entire process that, you know, from the sound design work to the animations and the modeling and like I can't stress enough how easy it made the approvals process on our end, that all of this work came in very obviously driven by an incredibly high level of passion for Dungeons and Dragons. If you are a D&D fan, there's really cool Easter eggs in the map. There's really cool Easter eggs all over the place. There's just a ton of love for D&D in this thing. And if you're a fan, there's something in here for you, I promise. Even if you don't think that horror is your thing, give it a try. It's super fun.
Thank you so much for the kind words. Seriously, it means the world to me. Now, I think we'll wrap this up for now. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today in our anniversary. And I hopefully will see you in the fog.
We're going to have to look up a YouTube video explaining like Vecna's everything, because I know zero about him, but he seems like a very, very cool character, like very eldritch. Like he's an eldritch god type of thing. I'm gonna have to watch some videos. Because again, my basic knowledge is from Stranger Things, and I don't think that really applies to what we're doing in Dead by Daylight.
Hey,
but
hi, I'm not.
I'm curious how he works and what he does, and
no, we're quickly interrupting
everything.
Our D&D segment. There's a lot more. Stay tuned. Dave will be right where I am in just a second to give you an update on cross progression. So This is a live show. We're having a live TV moment as we speak. So apologies, you might have noticed, even though I was dressed the same. Our segment with Derek that was just before was pre-recorded. And in fact, we played the wrong one. So we want to give you more details on cross progression here. So that's what we're going to do. So take it away, Dork.
So cross progression is hands down one of the most requested features. Every single stream, every single post. You guys are wanting cross progression, and we're giving it to you later this summer. Players will need to own the base game on any platform that they're playing on and have a behavior account. I'm sure you heard me talking about cross progression with an account. And you're like, what is she talking about? Yeah, so make sure you have that, and you'll be able to use cross progression later this summer. We do understand that the website is currently down because so many people are trying to get to the website and make their account, but we're working on it, and we'll have this to you shortly.
Yep, and just as a clarification, in case we have a few folks in chat that aren't aware, Dead by Daylight, this is cross progression for console and PC Dead by Daylight. We're not talking about Dead by Daylight mobile. It's really its own experience if you've never played it. It's a different
Bring the
beast,
skins to base
from the
game.
Dead by Daylight core, as we call it internally. Awesome. So along with the Twitch drops,
Why does mobile get like some of the best skins, man?
Players now have another reason for their behavior account and another reason to crash our website. So like we said, bear with us. The site will be brought back up and all this will happen. Regarding cross progression though, any exceptions about in how the system is going to work?
Well, while every platform will have cross progression, there will be a few exceptions to what can be shared between those platforms. But stay tuned. We'll have a full FAQ coming very soon so that you can go ahead and learn more about cross progression for Dead by Daylight.
Yep. And as mentioned, now we're going to pass it to Dave and Janik for some great deep details on our Dungeons and Dragons chapter.
I mean, I don't really care about cross prog because I have one thing that actually runs the game decently. I have no reason to like, oh, cross prog. Let me bounce to this system. I'll bounce back to the other system. No, I don't have a reason for that. The fact that there's going to be stuff that's limited or like not, that doesn't cross over, it's a bit concerning whenever a game is like, yeah, we're going to do cross prog, but your shards don't transfer over or something like that, right? Your auric cells won't transfer over. That's something that should, right? Skins and basically everything should transfer over for Dead by Daylight. Like unless it's like a special
Eric for this
like unlock for a console specific, like Apex had that for a little bit.
So we're super excited today to be able to talk about the Dungeon and Dragon chapter. I am Dave, creative director on Dead by Daylight, and I'm joined by my good friend Janik.
Hello, Janik Never, principal game designer on Dead by Daylight. Today I'll be talking about all the intricacy of the gameplay on this chapter, but first a little mention. Dead by Daylight, 8 years, introducing Dungeon & Dragon. It's a big milestone for us, but we're not the only one hitting a special milestone.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that Dungeon & Dragon turns 50 this year, and we are super proud and happy to be part of the celebration.
It's the devil.
Just want to say that
there's uneducated people everywhere.
50, we do something else with you, Wizard of the Coast, or maybe sooner.
Yeah, we'll probably be in retired home, but we'll be glad to join the party. So first, Dungeon & Dragon in Dead by Daylight. I have to be honest here. The first time you told me about what's going to be coming next, I was surprised because I'm a big horror fan, but when you think about horror, Dungeon & Dragon is not the first thing that comes to mind. But thinking about it more, I realized, no, wait, there's a lot of horror in Dungeon & Dragon.
Sure.
And
they made an entire Netflix series about the horrors of Dungeons & Dragons.
Like you really specifically
pretty strange with a lot of things in it.
So please tell us about those pillars.
Yeah, so I'm afraid to go on social media today because no doubt the Stranger Things fans are going to be mauling about this announcement.
And of course, when we think Dungeons and Dragons, the first thing that comes to mind is a magical world, high fantasy, magical creatures, wizards, magic.
Back in my claims
all sort of things that don't necessarily fit exactly well into a horror setting. But because D&D is a world of imagination where we can create whatever we want, there's also a way to make it happen.
I mean, I'm sure there's a connection between D&D and Dark Souls, right? The whole like dungeon aspect of it.
That type of content.
Right, so I guess I'm kind of familiar with like the world,
you've seen in the
trailer, dungeon crawling and adventure and
perfectly
Stuff like that.
sense for that horror
That's the closest
second
analog
pillar
I can
is
make.
creative role playing. So in the image of Dungeon and Dragon, we wanted to make sure that players add a lot of agency, a lot of choices. So that goes from an amount of spells you can choose from in the power, which we'll talk about
Oh?
later.
Do we have an
even
augmented
customization,
killer?
So a way you can, kind of create your own character in some way. We just
That's
wanted
like
to
a
make
cool
sure that
thing
we
they
had a
could
lot
do
of
is
gameplay
like each
choices,
add-on changes what his power does.
And the last
That'd be really
pillar we
neat.
worked with is
That sounds like a lot of
chaos.
work,
That's actually
so I
one of
doubt
our
it.
main
But
pillars
we'll
in
see.
Dead by Daylight. But a lot of what happens in Dungeon and Dragon is based on randomness. You throw a dice, and with critical success, critical fails,
RNG
and everything in
Dead by
between,
Daylight?
you see the
Pfuh,
result
never.
and you adapt to it. So we wanted to recreate that feeling inside the Dead by Daylight trials as well.
Yeah, Dungeon and Dragon is really about exploring a fantasy world, but also be thrilled about what's gonna be the monster you're gonna meet the next time you open a door.
So let's talk about that killer you'll meet the next time you open the door. So of course, Dungeons & Dragons has a lot of iconic monsters we could have chosen from, a lot of iconic villains as well. And with our friends at Wizard of the Coast, we've established that our next killer would be Vecna. Vecna is just a perfect fit for Dead by Daylight. He's a lich, so a powerful wizard that turned himself into undead to be able to continue his villainy. Is that even a word?
That's
I'm not
metal as fuck, bro.
He wanted to continue to do his
Holy
oracle
shit, that's
stuff,
cool.
for as long as he could. Vecna also has access to every spell in the books. So that was very interesting for us to create.
He's a
an interesting
wizard.
Power. Of course, we also have a survivor in the chapter. So the Bard. A very interesting class. There's many class that we could have chosen from, but the Bard was really the one that fit the most into our horror setting. For example, when we think about a class like the Paladin, you think of the ability to turn the undead, magical sword.
Yeah, every other class you think of is a warrior or a fighter.
Doesn't fit really well into the world of Dead by Daylight.
A bard has no defense. They can buff allies, right?
The ability to sing, to play musical instrument, to know lore.
I know a base level, not even a
the
base
villain
level.
Is just so on brand that
like if the surface level is like the dirt, my level of knowledge is like the tree stump.
In the image in the trailer, we're doing something special.
It's
with the
above.
Survivor. It's akin to what we've done with Legion. So through the cosmetic customization, you'll be able to choose between two specific characters inside the same survivor. So you'll have the choice between Ice Tree, a female elf, or Bearmar, a human male.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like legendary cosmetic, but base kit.
We were playing Dungeons and Dragon, like in my friends group. The Bard was not really a class that people tend to play.
True.
Compared especially to other class that you had, but
you want to beat things up.
There's been
you want to punch things, smack things with an axe and a sword.
Become, like such popular class to play. Really fun now, definitely. And
no, oh my God! Hold up, my base level of D&D comes from South Park.
Absolutely, every party.
That just dawned on me. Like, oh yeah.
And we've also seen a lot of
like the song Jimmy. Oh fuck.
Dungeon and Dragon.
Thick of Truth.
Movie, for example.
That's where my base level knowledge comes from.
We have a troubadour. Do we have a new map?
Absolutely. We're super proud
Dungeon
to have a
map.
Full chapter for the anniversary.
Dungeon map.
And shocking no one, the map is a dungeon.
Dungeon map!
Absolutely. So in the Borgo realm, we have a
new
fuck,
map it's Borgo. Oh, that's why we changed the lighting of Borgo.
Set in the marvelous new lighting of the Borgo realm. And you can find this isolated tower in the middle. You can go inside and go into an extensive dungeon underground packed with surprises and Easter egg related to Dungeons and Dragons. The goal with this map is that we've imagined that.
Wait, is it a new map or is it an addition to Borgo?
Realms and plane, now trapped into the realm of the entity, would find a place to make his own, to make his home, his lair.
Cool, that's pretty cool looking. Look at that generator, you got to complete for an achievement.
Where he is, the world, the entity, and potentially find a way to escape.
That's the only thing my brain goes to now is look at that generator in that room.
A new gameplay mechanic in this map called Passage. So these are basically doors. Magical doors, which you can use to teleport from one area to the map to the next. And we think it's going to add a new interesting spice to chases.
You mean a good way to get away from the killer.
Easter egg. It's super fun. Like if you're a fan of Dungeons and Dragon, just exploring, you're gonna be thrilled to see all the small and the big one. On the gameplay side now for Vecna, so the way we tackle or approach the killer this time, interestingly, it comes from a game, so he has game mechanic that are pre-existent. So we look at all like stats block and try to come up with like the best spell that could be translated into game mechanic for us, and also make sure that these will be like thrilling and exciting to use. But then, so definitely he's a spellcaster, a very powerful one. So the goal was to make
He's a
him,
god.
feel as such,
right?
A game.
Unkillable god.
But like I was saying, magic, it's something that we have never really tackled, not that way before. Something we've tried to stay away from. Like our powers are really visceral or like grounded as much as possible. It's something that do you want to talk about a bit? Magic?
Yeah, yes, please. I hope some of our team colleagues are laughing right now. They're I kind of have a bad rep internally about magic. It's almost a taboo word that we can't use. But now making a D&D chapter, for sure we had to embrace
Too many letters. Too many letters.
Of course, there is a space for magic in our games, but it has to be taken with the right tone. So in this case, we're talking necromancy, blood magic, magic of the dead. And there's a touch of
you have my attention now.
Visceralness that we wanted to add to magic.
Some of my favorite spells in Skyrim are necromancy, because they're just weird and wild. Let me reanimate this dragon corpse to fight for me.
And these are the
dope
utility
shit.
spells. They're spells that are not used to kill or damage, but they're used in very creative ways. And we wanted to highlight that with the Lich, with Vecna. So that was our approach. Now, do you want to talk to us about the spell that we actually chosen?
Sure. So you have access to 4 different type of spell.
That's a lot.
Pretty much any time they have their own individual cooldown. But so the first one
That's
is
a
called
lot.
Fly, a very popular, well-known Dungeons and Dragons spell in our game. It lifts up the killer, and you're pushed forward. Obviously faster, so it's
He's
really
got a dash.
the traversal aspect of the power.
Got a Wester
lasts for a
dash.
short amount of time, and it's gonna also end if you vault a pallet or a vault location, and this is really useful to get closer to Survivor and get to the next gen as soon as possible. The next one is called Flight of the Dam, which is it's not really a Dungeons and Dragons spell. It's more connected to Vecna. It's actually an ability that he has. What it does is that it casts 5 different individual projectile, and then it shoots them in a cone radius effect in front of him. These projectiles pass through obstacles. They don't go very far, but if they hit the survivor, they get damage instantly.
A projectile that damages. Huh.
And easy to
a novel
use,
concept.
It's not the case. Survivor have a lot of counter, but the spell can also be used to zone in this aspect, so you can also go for the basic M1 attack during that time. The third spell is called Dispelling Sphere, which is actually it's a combination of different existing Dungeons and Dragons spell. We just felt it was more compelling to combine them into one spell. So what it does, you cast a large sphere in front of you, and that sphere moves slowly throughout the level. Survivor do not see that sphere, and if they get in contact with that sphere, they get revealed for a few seconds by Killer Instinct, and also have their magic items disabled for a minute.
Magic items, you
the
say?
last but not least spell is Mage Hand, very well known Dungeons and Dragons spell. What it does in the life, you as the killer, you can tag up nearby pallet.
I'm sorry, we want
And if
to
the
gloss
pallet
over
is
that?
upward, it blocks the pallet for a few seconds. Cannot be interacted by Survivor. And if it's downward, it's lifted up for you, so you can.
So you have a hand that tips over wood and picks wood up.
So the idea with this
Okay.
killer, he has a lot of tools and tricks in his bag, and it's really about managing all the force spells, the cooldown, and try to activate them at the right moment. So that's really how you're going to improve as a killer, is learning how to use them at the right time and be efficient with them.
So let's
He's gonna have a high skill floor.
Correct.
So you've mentioned very quickly during the Dispel Sphere, the magical item.
Did I? Yeah.
What's that?
Okay. So this is the new toy for Survivor. It's called magic items, but keep in mind it's not an actual items that they use. So this time, if you face Vecna, you're gonna have Survivor gonna have 7 different chests that's gonna spawn throughout the level. Survivor go interact with those chests, and while during the opening of the chest, there's gonna be a D20 dice roll.
What?
Yes, it's Dungeon and Dragon. We couldn't do without the dice roll. So this dice roll will determine the content of the chest. So if Survivor roll from 2 to 4, they get a basic Dead by Daylight brown item. So
Better than nothing.
yeah, well, maybe that brown medkit might save your life. I don't know. But the fun part is when you roll from 5 to 19, that's when you get the magic items. And the way it works is that each Survivor has an equipment slot, 2 equipment slot. They have the bracers and the boots. So there's 2 type of magic items, and each magic item is going to be randomly linked the first time you open the chest to one of the 4 Vecna spells. And so once they are equipped, each time the killer will cast the spell that is linked to one of your magic item, you're going to gain a passive bonus to help out, avoid the spell or help you out against Vecna in general. So to be more precise, so if you have bracers against the fly spell, you're going to see Vecna's aura during the traveling while you use the spell.
Yeah, that's not
if you
too
have,
overpowered.
Boots, for example, against the Flight of the Dam, you see the aura of the projectile, very useful because the projectile goes through collision, and the best way to use that spell is through walls. If you have magic items against the Dispelling Sphere, survivors see the sphere, so they can juke and go around the sphere as much as they can. And if you have a counter against the Mage Hand, you see the aura of the hand on the palette, and also gain a little haste effect, so that helps you out around the loop.
Okay, it's not too broken.
So it's really important to search those chests.
Yeah, correct, because the way that we tackled this, the balance in this case is that we made sure that the magic items do not trunker the killer's power. It's made
You learn from Singularity then.
to face Survivor who have
Excellent.
them equipped. So if you don't get those, definitely the killer might feel a bit oppressive. So it's really up to Survivor to get to those chests and equip them as soon as possible.
Right. And just to be clear, you can also equip a normal item with that. So you can have your flashlight, bracer, and boots.
Correct. It's a very different slot.
So everybody heard you talk about a lot of numbers here on the dice, but you've not mentioned the critical fail, 1, and critical success on the 20. For people that don't play D&D, these are like events, the best event that can happen.
The
in
critical hit and a
Dragons
critical
when you get
shit.
That critical fail or that critical success.
That's what I know them
happens
as.
in Dead by Daylight when that happens.
Yes, so we have critical roll in the game. If you roll a 1, you get, a big nothing. Although I've heard sometimes people get a green key. I guess
that's
lucky you.
better.
Oh, so nothing.
But I know what you get if you roll a 20. So anyone who's familiar with Vecna in the lore of Dungeon & Dragon, there are 2 very specific artifacts that exist that is called the Eye of Vecna and the Hand of Vecna, and we introduce them in our game. So you roll a 20, you get one of the 2. You never know. But these works more like a normal item, so you have to pick them up and use them once. It's called attune, so you merge with the items, and then you unlock a very powerful ability up to like perk level.
Okay.
Yes, it's very strong. I guess you want to know.
But please
what it
do
is?
say.
Okay, sure. So if you
Go on.
attune with the Eye of Vecna, they use with lockers. So if you fast exit a locker, you're going to be unseen, unheard by the killer for 15 seconds. And on top of that, you gain a haste boost effect. And if you attune with the Hand of Vecna, you fast enter a locker and you're going to be teleported further down further locker.
Wow.
So very powerful. I forgot a little details because they might sound super strong said like that, but they come with a cost. So to use them, you have to be full health. And once you use them, you instantly lose a health state.
Oh,
and also
okay.
at the end of the effect, you get revealed by Killer Instinct. So be very mindful the way you use them, because we've seen a lot of situations where it backfire at the survivor. and the killer has definitely his spell to help him out, get back at the survivor, and get the down.
So it's very on brand with what a cursed item should be.
Indeed.
So thank you so much, Yannick. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff coming with Vecna, and we had no time today to talk about anything more about the killer perks or the survivor, but I have to say very quickly that the survivor perk will allow you to create illusions, to perform on the loot. You can even perform with other survivors to do the full melody. There's also a dice roll mechanic for one of the perk. So if you want more information after the show, you can go on our website, deadbydaylight.com, and get all of the details you need. Merci encore, Yannick, for all the information, and thank you so much to all of you. Happy anniversary, and I'll be passing it back to Eric and Dork.
Yeah, something tells me reading it is gonna not give me any info. Just straight up not gonna explain it very well. All right, so he's got an invocation then, where he plays the lute. Okay, we'll have to see what that does. Dice roll mechanic, okay. Okay, yeah, he sounds like a pretty interesting killer. Like I said, a high skill floor. I don't know about the ceiling, but like the floor seems pretty high up, right? You gotta take a hefty step upwards. Maybe a step stool to get up to that floor. You got a lot. You gotta juggle a lot of cooldowns and stuff like that. He sounds more akin to an Overwatch character than a Dead by Daylight character.
You are a pretty frequent DM yourself.
Right? He sounds like
on occasion. Forever player,
like Orisa,
they said in
where you gotta
interview,
juggle cooldowns and all that. Make sure everything's off cooldown when you need them.
Never a player. Please make me a player.
You must be
so
psyched.
It'll be interesting to see how he plays.
Excited. I just cannot wait to see what we have in store and to go against Vecna.
Hopefully people have noticed your dice necklace.
My nice D4. I got okay. But yes, just like Dave said, don't forget to head over to deadbydaylight.com right after the show for the full breakdown on Vecna and all of his powers. You'll also be able to see the perks that we've got for him and our bard coming into the fog.
And also, don't forget to ask questions in the chat when you're not spamming nonsense garbage. Ask real questions, and we'll answer them later in the Q&A.
First live stream, guys.
Claim. Please stop saying claim. You're not claiming anything by saying claim. Stop.
But we appreciate your enthusiasm. But next we're going to be, I'm going to be joined by Dave Richard back on the couch for him to walk us through the ever-expanding world of Dead by Daylight.
Frank Stone, what lies ahead? My bet was like we get at least a release date. If not, go play the game now. But I guess that happened with the Fug. So I doubt it's gonna be like, go play it now. Which, when it drops, there will be a Let's Play on this channel. The first Let's Play on this channel. So I'm excited for it. I love Supermassive games. I haven't played the Devil in Me.
Hey,
I keep wanting to call it the Devil in I just because.
I'm super excited for this part of the stream because not only do we.
I haven't played that one. Every other game has been fine
within the world of
at base level. Like, it's a pretty good game. Obviously, Until Dawn, The Quarry,
unnamed multiplayer
top tier
PvE game by Midwinter, but we get to do it all with Dave Richard. So, Dave, can you please tell me why we chose these games to be the right games for us to expand the world of Dead by Daylight?
Yeah, there was a second one. I was correct.
There's a lot of stuff
by Midwinter.
That choice for sure. So first of all, we are super happy and grateful to have a community already there playing Dead by Daylight.
Mm-hmm.
So of course we listen to what they want to see, what they want to play. So that comes into the recipe of the choice we're going to make. We also want to make sure that we will create something new to experience, something that's completely out of what we are used to in Dead by Daylight. Mm-hmm. So that comes into the genre we want to create. Also, we want to interest new players into the world of Dead by Daylight.
Which is a good thing.
Some people that never heard of Dead by Daylight, but also some viewers that are interested about the world of DBD, but that don't play DBD because maybe it's not their style of game. So we want also these players to be with us and experience the world of Dead by Daylight.
It is a world and a story that needs to be fleshed out.
As the creative director, why do you
not outside of lore?
In the lore,
because there's a lot. There's a lot of great stuff
Well,
Oni and
it's
Spirit
been very
and
important for us since day
Light
one
and
when
all
we
that other
started
stuff.
Working on this project.
There's a lot.
The story and the narrative around
A lot that you
everything
can get
we
into just by
create. We wanna
reading
make sure
text.
that every little component in DBD has a story and a reason to live in the universe. We take great care into making that happen. So you know, there's a lot of mysteries within mysteries, a lot of layers to our narrative, which I think are super interesting and players want to know more.
And that's before you get into the
So these
multiversal
games
aspect
allow
of
us
it
to
that we're
discover
introducing.
These elements that we've seeded in the
Or have
past.
introduced.
You know, like every killer and every survivor in Dead by Daylight could have their own movie or their own game, really.
Yeah, they've got so much lore. It's really amazing to just dive into. And speaking of lore, I mean, this is something we want to expand on with the world of Dead by Daylight. So we're doing that in one of our upcoming games, The Casting of Frank Stone. So can you tell us a bit more about that?
Right.
Can you tell us the release date?
Yes. So, of course, there's different type of stories in games, right? There's games that have a static narrative that you experience. That's great. There's also games that the narrative is made very organically by the players, like DBD is a good example of that. The Casting of Frank Stone is somewhere in between, right? It's a game where there is multiple narrative, and based on the player choice, and you know, different things will happen, and based on their choice, different endings and different branching in the story will happen. So the Casting of Frank Stone is very interesting for us because it brings the origin of a killer and potentially survivors, and the players are able to play that for the first time. You know, some things that we are used to see as a lore or a bio or a tome entry in DBD now will be playable. It's still in the Entities universe. It's still very much part of the world of DBD, but it's going to be out of the trials. So that's going to be an interesting take.
That's the most exciting aspect of
Okay,
it.
so
Is that it's
we know
actually
that
in
the
the
Casting of
real
Frank Stone is
world,
still in that,
not the
that
realms.
realm. But what about our other project, this unnamed multiplayer PvE game? Is that also going to be taking
Oh,
place
that
in
wasn't
Entities
What the
realm?
Fog?
Absolutely. So it is in the world of DBD. It is in the Entity. And one cool thing about the Entity is that we know very little about exactly what it is. But
You could
we do
say
know
that.
It's a living universe.
We know nothing about the
It is
Entity.
huge, and we can't really comprehend everything that's happening within it. So we know that DBD trials are a way for the Entity to feed. It's a very kind of organic process. So we can imagine that there are other parts in the Entity that serves other purposes. And that is exactly what we want
The
to
Poo
explore.
Factory, for instance.
So that allows us to
It's
create
where the poo comes
new
from
narrative, new
and
ways
goes.
to experience a game, new gameplay opportunity, new set of rules. So these are things that we talked about in the past and that we always wanted to explore. So that's exactly what we want to do with this new Untitled game. So in a way, the world of DBD that we've created is like a book with infinite pages. We can add new stories to it forever, hopefully.
Just keep on reading.
Oh, yeah.
Or you made it to year 8.
Oh, well, you did.
Most games don't
talk
get
about
year
that
2,
in, like,
so.
Is there any gameplay that we'll be able to see?
Oh?
That we'll be able to see. Well, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Dave, for talking us through that. But
The
now I wanna see
Untitled
gameplay. Let's see the gameplay.
PvE game. From the world of. I'm unfamiliar with Midwinter games.
Hey everyone, I'm Audrey, lead producer at Midwinter Entertainment.
Hi, Audrey.
Last year, we gave you a very small glimpse of a project we started working on set in the Dead by Daylight universe.
Gave us no
I'm
glimpses
happy to
that I
say
remember,
that
at
we
least.
have more to share with you on this game codenamed Project T. Instead
Project
of showing
T.
you a close to final game with some
Project
polished
Tyrant.
gameplay, we want
Resident
to
Evil
let you in
Chapter
on
3
the development
confirmed.
process. Right now, Project T is a work in progress, more than a fully fledged game.
That looks dope.
Our goal is to craft an experience with all of you and create something that you would be eager to play. Let's hear more about Project T with our creative director.
Hey everyone. First, I want to say what an honor it is to be working in the Dead by Daylight universe. We love DBD's multiplayer thrills, and its dark, mature setting brings just the right
They
kind
bought
of
out
tension and
Midwinter,
danger
didn't
for a
they?
game like this. In Project T, you play as trespassers, rough and tumble characters who have been whisked away from their realities and trapped.
That's a man who says brother a lot.
There, in a vast region called the Backwater, they discover they must work together if they're to have any chance of survival. And of course, they're not alone. The Backwater is home to horrific monstrosities known as the Thrall.
Of course.
These terrors come in many forms and have different deadly abilities.
That one's got a
Their
gun. What
origins
the
and
fuck?
nature are unclear, but they certainly don't take kindly to trespassers within their domain. To achieve your objectives,
Whoa.
you'll have to battle the Thrall with every weapon at your disposal.
The world of Project T
Okay.
is called the Backwater. It's a unique
It says
place
Midwinter
in the
Entertainment
crystal
at
realm
Behavior
within the
Studio.
entity's grasp. You'll be eager to explore this familiar yet ominous world, and it'll definitely give you the creeps. To add even more tension to your experience, we're building the Backwater as an ever-changing landscape, which offers a lot of possibilities gameplay-wise.
That's cool.
To navigate the Backwater, we're thinking of adding trucks in the game. Since it's a pretty big area, you would need a way to go from one point to another while escaping the hordes of Thrall. But there could be other uses for the truck. That's something we're thinking about, and we'd love to see what kind of ideas you might have. As DBD fans, we're having a lot of fun creating this new experience as part of the Dead by Daylight universe. DBD is all about horror, and we want to make sure we're crafting something that horror fans will appreciate, from the different
What the
biomes
fuck?
of the Backwater to the look of the
Oh, that was a ritual.
Project T is still in early development, but that doesn't mean you'll have to wait another year to get more news. We're looking to get your opinions and share information, so we're creating a platform called the Insider Program. This is a place where all the players excited about this new take on the DBD universe can gather and be active participants in the development of the project. As an insider, you'll not only get exclusive information, but also in-game rewards and even the chance to join our closed playtests and give us your feedback. Join us to help shape an experience you'd like to play and make Project T the best that it can
Was
be.
that fucking
See you
Spencer
soon.
Charnas? I'm gonna have to go back and oh, go look like Probably wasn't, but that dude really looked like Spencer Charnas from Ice Nine Kills. It's so random that that's just a clip we got. Like, oh hey, I'm here. That's weird. That's weird that they would include that.
Not exactly a noted hotbed of criminal activity.
But according to the fucking audio files you've released, the hotbed for chaos.
That's not entirely true. There was that whole serial killer thing.
Why do you hate Cedar Hill so much? Used to be like town mascot.
It looks like a supermassive game.
I present The Mill.
You spend enough time in my line of work, you realize every place has got its demons.
Think that belongs to the boy you're looking for?
You can't shoot a movie in here. This is a condemned steel mill, Mr. Rivera. I suggest you immediately vacate the premises. And you do not, under any circumstances, set 1 foot back here in the Cedar Steel Mill. Ever.
Such a joy to see young people so passionate about the arts.
Everything's all right.
Is it though?
Either of you heard of Murder Mill? No! There was a whole string of disappearances. Kidnappings, really. Murders. So what was this guy's name?
I don't think the police ever found this place.
Fuck! Whoever did this might still be here. We can't stay, okay? We gotta go.
That was a huntress mask.
Cut!
Yes.
When you make dangerous cinema, you walk a dangerous line.
You suck. Give me what I want.
God, that was such a cool trailer.
That was dope.
Did I see a hunting mask?
Bringing it.
So we're getting skins for everybody, right?
Murder Mill? Is that
Like, oh, those 4 survivors and Frank is gonna be a skin coming in the game when that releases, right?
Super cool. It's so cool to see the way that the DBD universe is expanding.
Oh, yeah.
I want to mention Project T. You saw a mention of the Insider Program, so that's our team is there waiting for you on Discord. So you can join the Insider Program to get up-to-date information on Project T and get involved in it and be part of the game's development. It's really the idea there is we're making the game with the community. So get in on the ground floor now.
Yes. With Project T, like Eric said, we are taking this idea to a whole new level with making the game with you instead of just making it by ourselves. So if you love Dead by Daylight and you want to help with this new session-based multiplayer PvE game and bring it to life, sign up for the Insider program so that you can be in the know and get next steps. You also want to make sure you wishlist it on Steam because that really helps us.
Yes. And so Project T is quite a ways off because, like I said, we actually want to make it with our players. But the casting of Frank Stone is right on the horizon. So Supermassive, as hopefully folks know in the chat, they're just an amazing developer of single-player narrative horror games. And now we're bringing Dead by
give us a date
into that genre. And it's just so cool to finally be there. And it looks super terrifying. It looks
on the horizon
super crisp and polished and awesome.
would lead you to assume there's a release date planned.
A lot. So if you would do us a kindness, kindly give us a wish list. We would.
Bro, I've had a wish list since it was
and speaking of
up last year.
The PTB, I know a lot of you are itching to get into that. That will be at 1 p.m. as a reminder today instead of 12 p.m. So be ready to download that so you can go ahead and hop in and test out the new chapter.
I can't wait to see people's reactions to all the things that are.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait, especially for the locker one. I'm so excited for that one. But as we said, this is we're getting pretty close to our live segment where it's going to be the live Q&A. So we'll have Justin. Different Justin from Eric's Justin come out to talk about this year's Twisted Masquerade in-game anniversary event.
Okay. I think I said in one of the other videos that I think there's 9 killers that don't have masks.
And this time I'm joined by
Hopefully
Justin
they get
Banks,
them.
our senior product manager. Justin, how are you?
I'm doing great. Happy to be back.
Yes, welcome back to the anniversary show. And what would an anniversary be without the Twisted Masquerade, right? So the Twisted Masquerade is back. It happens every year during our anniversary in-game, and Justin's here to talk about it. So what have you cooked up this year?
So this year we got some amazing stuff. Honestly, I think it's our best anniversary event yet. But before we get to it, we have what we call Before the Masquerade. So that is going to be something that actually starts right after this stream. So for everyone who's watching, once this is over, go play. And we've got lots of really cool stuff as a big thank you to all of the players. It's really stuff from all of DBD's history, and it includes a lot of presents.
I love presents. I know you love presents. Our community probably loves presents too.
I think
details.
So the details about said presents. We've got lots of login rewards, so lots of currencies for players to earn just by logging in whichever day throughout all of this. We've also got 2 recolored outfits, one for Meg and one for the Huntress, that players can earn through each week. So each week you'll be
Another
able to earn
Meg
a
skin.
piece of this. So if you log in
Yay.
just once each of these initial 3 weeks, you'll get the full outfits, which I think is a really cool way to get your hands on some cool outfits. Now, each of these initial 3 weeks is going to focus on a different period of DBD's history, so a different collection of years. What that means is that we're going to have map boosts and outfit sales of character outfits that were released during those years. So we really want to take you through this history with us. We want to celebrate the history of DBD.
That's really cool.
Then the cool stuff that I think everyone's really going to dig is we have some currency boosts, a different one for each week during Before the Masquerade.
Oh.
So for the first week, we have a blood feast. So 3 times the blood points.
That's
During week
good.
2,
That's real
we're gonna
good.
Have 3 times the rift fragments. So if you want to progress towards the rift,
That's pretty
this is a
decent.
really good chance to do it.
That's pretty
And during
okay.
week 3, we've got 3 times the XP.
That's the one I
If you want to
want.
progress to the rift, this is also good, but this is a really good chance to earn some iridescent shards.
That's what I want.
Damn. And then after D&D releases, the last week and a half we'll be doing double XP and double blood points, right?
Oh, we're doubling down, yeah.
So everyone can play the new chapter.
Excellent.
They can get hyped for the Masquerade.
Excellent.
Have some of the older anniversary charms as well. Is that true?
Exactly. So we want to give people a chance who haven't earned them during previous years, to celebrate the build up to the event itself by earning, like some really cool Masquerade crows or things like that.
Awesome. Okay, so what about the event itself?
So the event itself, now that we've tackled Before the Masquerade, the big new thing that is coming for this year's Twisted Masquerade is the reveal of the host of Masquerade, Trix herself. So players might have seen her hinted at during previous anniversary events or during in outfit descriptions referenced as the Mad Designer or Zizzletrix. So she's finally making her appearance. And throughout all of the event, we want to make it very clear, like, this is her party. She's everywhere. She's the entity's biggest fan, celebrating, holding this party in its honor. And she's not a playable character, so we want to make that very clear. She is there pushing everybody to engage and celebrate.
I love that. So does this mean
That's
we're going to see
neat.
a lot more of her in the Twisted Masquerade?
Absolutely. So we have a lot of the UI that is themed. You might have seen some last year, so we've done a lot of updating for that. We've got Father Campbell's Chapel coming back with the whole party taking place inside. Some updated content in there to show that the party is progressing or dying slightly.
Put a hat on Maurice.
Then, in addition to all that stuff really permeating the game, we've got the lobby, the loading screens. She's going to appear in trials. You will hear her laughing at you or cheering you on around the exit gates. There's really voice lines that's going to appear everywhere, really accentuating the gameplay. It's going to be amazing. Like we loved hearing all of the voice lines that we have had recorded for this. With all that stuff, like we've got a lot of really cool gameplay that I'm going to talk about in just a second. But one thing I wanted to mention is that all of our event gameplay now is going to take place within a separate event queue. So if you want some of the normal DBD, like in the core mode, you can have that. But if you want the event stuff, go over to the really cool event queue and take.
I don't agree with that.
Twisted Masquerade.
I don't agree with that. You should be logging into DBD to play the anniversary event during the anniversary time.
The vibe with the core experience.
You're splitting the queues even further. I don't think that's a good idea.
Giving players that option to choose, if they want to just do classic Dead by Daylight, they can, with some extra flair on it, or they can choose the event queue. That's a nice improvement.
Oh, is it a game mode that we have to
you mentioned
select?
it, so what are some of the gameplay changes?
Not just like
Tricks.
So Trix is bringing what we call her bag of tricks to the party. She wants to spice things up. She wants everyone to have a lot of fun. So what we've got is that as a match progresses, one of a series of abilities, or sorry, one of a tricks, is going to be played on our players. And these are going to be things like giving everybody haste, giving people undetectable, spawning anniversary special chests or totems, some really cool stuff that's going to spice it up. And this is going to happen whenever 2 points are accumulated during a match. So at first I'd say one trick actually takes place at the match start. Following that, whenever 2 points are accumulated from doing a gen, first hook, things like that, which each gives 1 point, that is then going to trigger another tricks to maximum of 5 during a match. So we want to really keep things interesting. And when a tricks is actually activated, you're going to see Trix herself appear alongside or take the spot of one of the dancing marionettes. She's going to even deliver a line that hints at what has been played. So if you're not paying attention, she's going to give you this really cool audio cue.
That's awesome. And so in addition to all of that, I think we're also doing some sort of update for the invitation mechanic.
Yeah, absolutely. So the invitations last year, we had players run around, gather those, and you could either spend it to use an ability while inside a chase, or escape with it to help you earn a mask. This year, there's no need to escape with it to earn a mask. That's a different thing. And we've even added outside of chase abilities to the invitation. So if you're someone who doesn't necessarily want to always be chased by a killer or wants to have a more diverse use for it, we've added that. So survivors can now go into quiet mode, so making a lot less noise, and can even do things like quickly enter a locker without alerting the killer. It's super useful to get out of that chase right away.
That's fantastic.
Or if they're nearby and you don't want to alert them. For killers, they can now use an invitation to immediately send a downed survivor to a nearby hook.
Oh,
And
wild.
As I can say from playtests, it's really fun.
I think the community is going to love that. Can't wait for them to play, but also I think there's challenges we've added so you can earn masks, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this year, earning all of the masks is going to be related to engaging with event challenges and earning event currency. So all of them are going to be earned like this. That's going to be how you earn most of the rewards. And past masks and outfits that were earnable or in the store last year are also coming back. So if someone was not able to get those during previous years, those are all now going to be available inside the store for the duration of the event. And I have to say that we have also a licensed guest showing a mask this year, a Mr. Detective Tap.
Oh.
Amazing. Amazing.
That's
so
interesting.
Cool.
Look at those masks. Those
Clown,
are fantastic.
Dr.
They
Hag,
are.
Plague,
Heck yes.
Skull Merchant,
Fantastic. Good lord.
Twins,
So it wouldn't be a party
Alita,
without lots of
Renato,
rewards. What can you tell
Yunjin,
us about
Kate.
the event tome?
So we've got a
Adam.
few staples that are coming back that we've done and seen huge success with in the past for the event tome. One is the community challenges. So we know people love to play together towards earning things, so we've got a lot of those. So if people engage with the event, work towards those targets, hit their own milestones, I think they're going to earn some really pretty cool stuff. Also in the event tome is some really interesting lore about the observer discovering Trix's world. So if you want to know a little bit more about her, play those challenges, earn that lore. Then
Neat.
We've got some really cool stuff. I have to say the Twisted Masquerade is one of our favorite collections to work on every single year. As soon as the art team's concepts hit the table, or I guess the monitor screen these days, we're like enamored with them. Like, we love working on this collection. So this year we've got 2 new 100% earnable outfits that you can earn through the event. We have one for Bill Overbeck, another licensed guest making his appearance in the Masquerade, and one for the Unknown.
Oh, the
Trying to
Unknown
blend in a
skin.
little bit at the party.
Successfully.
In addition to
Oh,
all
hell
that
yeah.
really cool stuff. We've got some Trix-themed charms and player cards.
I'm sorry,
that
is the
people can
weapon
earn.
a fucking bottle of
Now,
champagne?
Obviously, with Tap's mask making an appearance as a reward, there's someone who accompanies him. So if people check out the in-game store during the Twisted Masquerade, they'll be able to find a really cool event-themed outfit for the pig.
Oh, fuck yeah, bro.
There it is.
Huge
That's
fans of this.
dope
I mean,
looking.
It's got so many touches from the Saw franchise in there. I think it's amazing.
Pig fans were on the edge of their seats hoping you'd say that.
That's awesome
Amazing.
looking.
So we've covered a lot. Are there any last presents for the players that we haven't mentioned?
So there's a lot already, but we've got more. So the same as previous years, we're giving out lots of daily rewards to players. So there's going to be lots of currencies, like more blood points, more rift fragments, more iridescent shards. We're going to have a huge login calendar throughout the entire event. People are going to be earning stuff no matter what they do. And for the first time, that no matter when the player logs in, we're going to give them enough event currency to get a single reward from the event.
Nice.
That's
as soon as you log in,
cool.
we want to get you started and start enjoying the party.
That's good. That's
Love
cool.
that. Players are going to
Dig
love
that.
that. Thank you, Justin, for your time and all that detail. So much detail. I hope people are psyched.
It's gonna be fun.
Just as a,
It's gonna
as
be
a
good.
note, the event in-game starts June 13th, but the Before the Masquerade event actually starts now, right after this show, today. And there is one last thing that we have not mentioned. It's all part of this wrapper of celebration, and it actually ties back to Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, does it?
Yes. So very, very excited to say that we will be putting some Dungeons and Dragons Dead by Daylight dice. That's a lot of D's.
A lot.
Up for sale.
Oh,
in
it's
the
a
merch
physical
store.
thing.
You can
Okay.
pre-order it right now. It's
That
not
dice does
available. You
not
can't
look like
get
it
right
rolls
away,
very
but you can
well.
Get your pre-order in right away. And in fact, if you do the pre-order in the next 48 hours, you get a discount. Super psyched about this. There's tons of Dungeons & Dragons fans within the office. I'm sure there are in the community as well. So why not put them together with a cool new set of dice? And that is all we have. Unfortunately, Justin, you're done. Thank you for your time.
I was honestly always happy to be here.
So we're going to toss it now to Dork for our live Q&A, and we'll bring it home. Take it away, Dork.
A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff in the anniversary event. Lots of good stuff.
All right, well, I've been like teleporting all around today. Now I'm over here. So we've covered so much content today. We've been talking about gameplay updates to Dead by Daylight, the 2v8 mode, the new titles, the Dungeons & Dragons chapter, and obviously with all of this content comes loads of questions, which we will be taking the time to answer for you. I say we because it's me, Dave Rashad, and Justin Brown. So let's go ahead and get started. So for Dave, question 1. In the Dungeons & Dragons segment, you mentioned 2 bards and 1. What does that mean? Are we getting 2 unique survivors?
No. So there is 1 survivor, same perks, but there is a different customization system around this character. So it's similar to what we've done with the Legion. So instead of having like normal head, torso, legs parts, for the Bard we have head and torso in one piece, the legs in another piece, and the accessories. And
oh,
so
that's cool.
Changing the head torso piece, you can modify which character you want to be.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so
it kind of works like
two,
Ash then,
how big of an impact
where
will
his
the
head and
Project
torso
T
are one
Insider
piece, then he's got
program
pants,
actually
and then
have
his
for this game?
hand.
I'll actually go ahead and take this one. We really want this project to meet player expectations at launch, so we want to make an open dev route, and this will allow us to proactively check in with you, our community, and fine-tune the game as we go. We'll be actioning insider feedback the whole time we're building the game, as your input and your insight will be highly considered throughout the entire process.
I mean,
So
hopefully
thank you.
Project T is on console. That'd be cool.
3 for Dave. Will we see any existing Dead by Daylight characters in the casting of Frank Stone?
Ooh, well, I don't want to spoil anything. I can say that the game features a new cast of character. They're original. It's an all-new story, but there are a ton of little things here and there to discover linking to Dead by Daylight for the fans.
Because I pointed out the
Thank
Huntress
you. I got
mask.
a little treat. All right, our next question 4 for Justin. In 2v8, you said that there will be classes for survivors, but not exactly for killers. What does this mean, and will more killers be added in the future?
All right, I'll start with the easy one. Yes, of course, there will be new killers added. Each iteration we do after this first one, we strive to add a few more killers as we move forward. As far as classes go, it's something that we're still really waiting for. There's a possibility we do something like a class system, but we're going to wait until we get this iteration into your hands and work with your feedback and see where we take this mode.
All right, thank you, Justin. Question 5. What is the difference between a game mode and a modifier for Justin?
Okay, it's just like what Matt said. A modifier is really something that takes a little piece of a standard trial and sort of adjusts it, like a darkness effect, maybe changing how fast or how many generators there are to do, or random perks. A mode is something that's going to fundamentally change the way the game is
I was going to say, a modifier is a limited time mode, where a game mode is a permanent thing.
All right, thank you.
That's the best way to
Justin,
describe it in simple
for you,
terms.
question 6. Can I duo killer with my friends in 2v8?
Absolutely. You can queue up with your friend. You can get on Discord and talk to them and play killer together.
Okay, so I'm super excited for that. That's going to be amazing. All right, our next question. Can we play 2 of the same killers in 2v8, Justin?
No. The easy answer is no, you won't be able to play 2 of
Oh,
the
2
same.
nurses?
To mix
Fun.
and match, between the 5.
No,
but,
that'd
2
be
of the same killer
terrible.
will not be available.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine hearing both chainsaws revving? Like, oh gosh, overload. All right. Question 8. I didn't get my blood points from grade reset yesterday. Will I get them back? I'll go ahead and answer this one. Yes, we're working on refunding the missing blood points to players, and you should receive them within the next few days. Really sorry about that. Question 9. Can achievements and trophies be earned in the 2v8 mode when it releases, Justin?
The simple answer is yes. There are no specific 2v8 achievements or trophies.
Good to know.
But if you're making progress towards one that already exists, like how many generators you have to repair, progress is still made towards those trophies.
All right, thank you. Question 10.
I should be free by that time.
Plans to keep 2v8 permanent after some iterations, Justin?
So this is something we're still working out.
Okay, so it's not
but I can
permanent
tell
to
you for
start.
Sure, in year 9, it will not be permanent at any point. It's going to be an ongoing discussion. It's going to depend sort of the engagement level.
Now, what's the new game mode that's coming in
is fully ready before we continue those.
a month, 2 months, something like
when
that?
the mode is active, make
I
sure
gotta look
you
at
are
the-
playing it. Okay,
I gotta
do
go
this
back
for
and look at
us.
the roadmap.
So other than that, what is?
It said there's a new
is
game mode
What the
coming.
Fog couch co-op or online co-op only? I'll answer this one as well. What the Fog is online co-op only, available as soon as we find a fix for the website. Really sorry about that, but thank you so much for trying to claim the game right now. All right, question 12 for you, Dave. Is Matt Mercer voicing Vecna?
Oh.
Good catch. He is. We're
Oh, that's
super
fucking
excited to have
awesome.
Matt Mercer bring
Okay.
Vecna to life in the trailer, in game.
It's awesome, especially having one of the kings of Dungeons and Dragons.
That's dope.
coming and voicing Vecna. What a treat!
Absolutely.
But we don't have any other questions. Thank you all so much for submitting
Okay.
your questions, no matter where
Okay.
you were watching from. And thank you so much, Dave and
It's
Justin.
high noon.
Regarding cross progression, just going to fill this in really quickly. We also want to reiterate that we can't share specific plans just yet, as we are still finalizing the last details, but rest assured that as soon as we are clear to do so, we will, and we plan to also push out a public FAQ. So once the FAQ is posted, we'll announce it across all
I mean, the
of our
fact that
channels
they were
for your
like
full awareness.
just
Once
announcing it, I'm
again,
like, oh,
big
we're
thanks to
we're
everyone
finishing
who
it
submitted
up.
questions, and we hope
Pretty
these
good.
answers were helpful, and we'll be talking more about this stuff in the next coming months. As a last gift for our players, if you're already signed up for the Dead by Daylight newsletter, you'll receive 250k blood points. And if you're not, you can still register until May 15th to get that sweet, sweet reward.
I haven't received
And another
anything
big
from the
thanks again to
newsletters.
Justin and Dave. For
The
sticking
last time I
around
got a
to
newsletter
answer
was
all
for
of
that
these
fucking
amazing
random game
questions.
they released.
And since this is almost
After
the
Meet
end
Your
of our
Maker.
show, we don't want to forget that the PTB goes live in 22 minutes. So now we're going to have Eric and Matt here on the couch one more time to wrap up the show with one final surprise.
All right. Okay. All in all, exciting stuff. Right. All in all, exciting stuff.
All right, this is it. This is the end. We've made it to the end of the show. It's been a great show. It's been a long show, and we thank you for sticking with us. We had so much to tell you about, so we had to do it all. But thank you so much. And look who's here to join me on the couch over there, Mr. Matt Cote. Matt, welcome.
Thank you so very much.
Well, nice of you to make it at the end.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
eventually got here.
Yeah. Well, I was a little late. Had some surprises to work on. It's always something.
That's true. But I think all the surprises are wrapped up for now. Thank you again. Hopefully you'll join us on one of our upcoming streams. We're going to keep these rolling. Maybe you'll join us on one of our upcoming streams.
I'd be delighted.
Fantastic. And that's it. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful... Yes?
I just want to say before we leave, so the people who have been with us until the very, very end, we have one last surprise for you. We like to close the show with a surprise. It's a bit of a tradition nowadays. So this summer, we are going to be welcoming yet another legendary set of characters into the fog.
Dumb and Dumber?
Yes.
I think we're supposed to say that. Featuring over... Featured in over 30 games, an animated series, an absolutely unforgettable soundtrack, and much, much more. We hope you are as excited as we are to welcome into the fog this classic franchise.
Got a trailer? Fuck yeah, alright, let's go. Oh my god. He turns into bats! Oh, fuck yeah. August 6th. Dope. That's... okay. I mean... good? Dog had an itch. Where's that roadmap, you fucking cowards? There it is.
Spread.
Like a vampire character is what everybody's wanted for like a very long time, right? Just because it's such a cool concept, and they tease it in the Rift. So that's cool that it's actually happening. That's really, really cool. So it's gonna be Dracula and probably Simon Belmont, right? They could do skins for Alucard and stuff like that, right? That's cool. We get an in-game event with that's the anniversary chapter. We know that. Tome 20 and licensed chapter New Survivor. It's the epitome of licensed Survivor, right? Is that what you guys said?
Keep an eye on our channels for that. We'll keep you all posted about this. Moving into the future a little bit. The coming year for Dead by Daylight is going to be huge, and that's saying something coming off of our biggest year to date. Since the last anniversary, we have released amazing licensed content such as Alien, Chucky,
All
Alan
facts.
Wake, and a personal favorite of mine, Nick Cage, such an
All
amazing
facts.
addition to the game. On top of that, we've also released our most popular original chapter to date, All Things Wicked.
Of course, and we can't forget, we did the Halloween event, which was bigger and better than ever with the introduction of the Void. This year, we introduced the concept of modifiers
in the works, and 2 of those chapters will be survivor-only chapters for this year. On top of that, we'll have the usual 4 new tomes that are going to be coming out.
Okay, yeah. So it's a big licensed chapter for just a survivor. And that's coming with... I'm assuming that's... They said that's the 2v... 2v whatever? 2v8, right? And August is another licensed chapter, so we're doing back to back to back. That's the Castlevania one that was just confirmed. Then we got a modifier, and then a tome, and an in-game event in October. That's the spooky one. December is a new chapter, completely original, new map. New original map. I think that's the most exciting part, is like, it's a new original map. I guess they didn't want to show off the new map that's coming with D&D. Because they just showed off Borgo. I hope it is not just, oh, it's Borgo with a tower in it now. I hope it's like a full-fledged new map. I guess we'll see once the PTB hits. That's a completely original chapter. Tome 22 in January. March is a solo licensed killer. I don't know. I don't know who that could be. And then, of course, a solo survivor. Who could be in March? Like, I guess, like, big swing would be Jason, right? Like, ideally, you would want, like, the anniversary chapter to be Jason. Right? You have Jason as the killer. You have Tommy Jarvis as the survivor. Camp Crystal Lake as the map. That's what you would want, ideally. But if they can't, like, that license is still wonky woo, right? They just canceled or, like, completely altered their plans for the prequel series. So, maybe it's just like, you just get Jason and that's it? But I don't know. I don't know. That's, I don't know. I guess we just start speculating on July and March. Because of course. Yeah, it was a good stream. A lot of good stuff. I'm excited for the new challenges whenever that happens. I don't think that's going to be happening with the PTB or the full release, although who knows? It sounds like they had a lot ironed out, right?
So, we're going to be introducing a new challenge system, which is a system of challenges, hence the name.
Perfect.
That players are going to be able to complete completely passively.
Yeah, it sounds like they have it all already done. It's all ironed out, so I guess we'll wait. We'll see. And I'm excited for that because I've always wanted more things to complete and a reason to play the game more, right? You complete those dailies or you complete your rift and you're like, "Oh, I don't have a reason to actually play the game," right? I actually, when I'm done with a rift, or like that level of the rift, I just take time off. I just stop playing as much as I do because there's no reason. So, giving me more reasons to log in and play and just complete things passively, especially if it's for, like, rift shards, right? I'm currently trying to unlock the Mr. Puddles skin for Clown, so I'm looking forward to that 3x XP thing. I'm looking forward to the daily logins for iridescent shards, just to unlock that skin a little bit quicker, because the devotion system sucks. You have to go from level 1 to level 99 and complete a full devotion level to get enough eerie shards for that. That's a pain in the ass. That's a lot. That's a lot of hours of grinding. Granted, it is worth the grind because it's an actual earnable piece and it's an earnable skin. So that's cool. I wish it was a little bit expedited, but PTB is not live yet, so I can't be like, oh, record the reaction immediately, but that will be after this. I will take a look at their written manual, like what the perks say on paper and what the power is on paper, or I guess screen in written text, and then I'll react to like whoever's got a video up of like all of it, right? So for now though, it's been a fun stream. It's been good. For now, I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed what you witnessed and you're excited, like I am, for the next year of content, especially the Castlevania chapter, I was kind of hoping have a new map as well, but I guess we're already getting a castle map, kinda, or a dungeon map, so that kind of fits the motif as well. I'd rather have a new original map just because it's something wholly original and unique to what nobody's ever seen before instead of Castle Belmont. That's fine. We're getting Dracula in the fucking game. That's the coolest thing. We've all, again, it's since they unveiled like Vlad Dracula in the tomes years ago. It's been like, oh shit, that could happen. That's cool. All right. So that's fun. But if you're excited like I am, hook the like button, more subscribe button, bing on that bell. The future of this channel is, for the next like month, is going to be grinding out achievements and grinding for blood points for Vecna and the pair of bards. So 3 times blood points. I might have a little bit more than I need very quickly. As for the anniversary, we're gonna have fun with that. Again, I don't like the splitting the queue. And I'm not a big fan of 2v8, but we'll see what that is. Yeah, so for now, like I said, that'll do it. If you're excited like I am, do all the YouTube stuff. Hook the like button, more subscribe button, bing bong the bell. And until next time, I will see you in the fog. Good luck.